Martial arts are a form of exercise practiced by millions around the world, and I'm going to give you a taster lesson today, which means I need to get changed. Wow, that was fast. Let's do this. Hi everyone, and welcome to Exercise for Health. I'm Richard, and as you can probably tell from the title and intro, we will be doing something a little bit different in today's video. So I've been studying martial arts for over 30 years, starting with judo when I was very young, and then taekwondo in my teens, which I still practice as well as teach today. And I've also studied kung fu for a few years. And there are so many benefits to these Eastern exercise methods. Martial arts are very holistic in their approach, in the sense that they train the mind as well as the body. And the great thing is that you can practice anytime and anywhere without the need for any specialist equipment. There are hundreds of martial arts styles being practiced around the world, and although some of them may not be suitable for people with certain health conditions, some softer arts such as Tai Chi can be very beneficial for your health. The purpose of the video today though is to provide you with a gentle taster lesson on the Korean art of Taekwondo, and before you switch off, if it's not something you've tried before, then just have a go, because people have taken up this popular martial art when in their 50s, 60s and even in their 70s. Taekwondo is for anyone, but it's not for everyone. So we're not going to be jumping around and kicking our legs high in the air, but I will provide you with some basic traditional techniques which will help you improve your agility, balance, coordination, mobility, strength and fitness, all in this one mini session. So to take part, you'll need some comfortable loose clothing. We traditionally practice barefoot like I'm doing today, but you can if you prefer to wear supported shoes, then that's fine. Also make sure you've got plenty of space, but that's what martial arts teaches us, is spatial awareness. If you're new to this channel, we offer tips, advice and exercises each week to help you manage your health condition. So please tap the subscribe button below and the bell icon to be notified of when we upload a new video. So with that out the way, let's start with some light, low impact Taekwondo. Right then, let's start this Taekwondo lesson as we do with any traditional Taekwondo class. So what we're going to do is show mutual respect between the instructor and the student. So we're going to come to attention. So that's where you bring the heels of your feet together, place the hands by the side of your legs. And then we do a bow just by bending at the hip, maintaining eye contact. It's also a great way to maintain social distancing. Right then, let's get started with a little warm up. And we're going to do a jog on the spot. Now, if you're not happy with just doing a light jog on the spot, what you can do is just do it as a march. So I'll let you choose which way you want to do it. So we're just going to raise your heart rate just a little bit, get you breathe a little bit faster, just to warm up everything in the body before we actually start doing some of the Taekwondo techniques. Right, next one we're going to do is we're just going to start to move from side to side. Now again, if you don't like doing it as I'm doing it this way, then you can just sidestep from side to side, just tap in one foot to the other one, which is a slightly lower impact version. Or if you're happy to just move from side to side, then that's fine. Good. Okay, next one we're going to do is we're going to have the feet together. We're just going to do little small jumps, a bit like we've got a skipping rope. Again, if you're not happy to do that, you can just raise your heels up and down so you're keeping the balls of the feet on the floor. If you're happy to do just little tiny jumps, again, you're not leaving the floor very much. Good, and then we'll go back to our little jog again. Okay, good. Gradually bring your feet down to a standstill. So what I want you to do now is you're going to take a step forwards, bring your knee up, drop down, and then bring the opposite knee. So you're just going to alternate between raising one knee up as high as you're comfortable with, and then change it to the other one. So I'm going to raise the knee, step back, step forwards, and raise that one. So we're alternating between the knees. Good, now we're going to do the same sort of thing, but this time we're going to make a circle with the knee. So you're going to raise the knee up and take it to the outside. Raise the knee up to the front, take it to the outside. So we're just trying to get the hips to mobilise a little bit. Taekwondo is quite good for mobility and flexibility. Obviously some of the people that have been practicing a long time can kick really, really high, which is great. Good, okay, just bring the feet down to a standstill, but this time take the feet out a little bit wider, turn the toes outwards a little bit, place your hands on your hips, and what we're going to do there is just do a squat, but as we squat down we're going to try and keep the knees out quite wide, so we can start to gauge a little bit of a dynamic stretch on the muscles on the inside of the thighs. So it's not like your typical normal squat, because we've got the feet out a little bit wider, actually called a sumo squat, incidentally. Good, right, just take the feet out a little bit wider again, if you can, and then from there we're going to bend one knee, keeping the other leg straight, come back up so both legs are straight, and then we're going to do the opposite side. So from both legs being straight, I'm going to bend one knee, and then straighten that one out, and then bend the other one. So we're just moving your body a little bit from side to side. So again, it's just trying to open up the hips a little bit, ready for when we do some kicks a bit later. Good, okay, bring the feet in a little bit closer, so feet about shoulder width wide now. Place the hands on the hips, and I want you to gently push the hips from left to right. So as you're doing that, try and keep your head still, so your head's always in the center line between your feet, and it's just the hips that are moving from left to right. Good, now what we're going to do is imagine that you've got a clock face going around you. We're going to move your hips from 9, 12, 3, to 6. So we're going around in a circle around that clock face, 12 o'clock being at the front, 3 o'clock to the right, 6 o'clock to the back, 9 o'clock to the left. So they go around clockwise. And then what we'll do is change the direction, so we go the other way around. So we're doing anti-clockwise rotations. Again, as you do this, try and keep the head as still as you can as we're mobilizing the hips around. Good, okay, let's just work on the arms a little bit now, because we do end up doing some techniques with the arms. So we're going to work around the shoulder. So the first one I want you to do is just roll your arm forwards. Again, work on your own range of movement. So if you need to keep the elbow bent as you do this, that's fine. If you can do it with a straighter arm, so you can create a bigger circle, that's also okay. And then with that same arm, we're going to take it backwards. Good, let's swap over. So opposite arm going forwards. Again, work to your range of movement. And then same arm going backwards. Good, and then what we'll do now is do both arms going forwards. So again, just find your range of movement. So just don't have to do this quickly, do it slowly so you can feel everything start to mobilize around the shoulder. And then do the same thing going backwards. Clumps going on in my shoulders. Okay, now a bit of coordination for you now. If you place one hand, both hands in front of you but palms facing together, you're going to do one going forwards while the other one goes backwards. That's just to get your brains working a bit. And then come back to the middle, and then we'll go the other way. So one's going forwards, one's going backwards. Good, and then last one, stretch out to the side and then come around and give yourself a hug. So arms out to the side and then give yourself a hug. Good, and then just give your arms and legs a little bit of a shake. Right, so now we've warmed up a little bit, I'm now going to introduce you to some of the traditional Taekwondo techniques that we're going to go through today. So I'm going to teach you some stances, and then I'm also going to teach you a couple of techniques with the arms, so a punch and a block, and then we're also going to do a kick. As Taekwondo, if you translate it, means the way of the hands and feet for self-defense. So we're going to be obviously using our hands with the punch and the block, and then we're also going to use our feet with the kicks. So the first one we want to do is I want you to adopt what we call a sitting stance. Now sitting stance is, if you take your feet 2 of your own shoulder widths wide, so quite wide with the feet, and then from there, make sure the toes of your feet are pointing straight forwards, and then I want you to just start to bend at the hip and the knee, so like you're sitting yourself down, and it should feel like you're sat on quite a wide horse. Okay, so that's our sitting stance. Then what we need to do is we're going to make fists with our hands. So if you put your hands up, bring the fingers together, bend the first few joints on the fingers to bring the fingers down, Then bend them at the knuckles, so we're making this right angle here, and then the thumbs are going to go on the bottom of the fingers because they're going to try and push the fingertips back up into the palm of the hand. So that makes our fist. So when we're doing our punch, there's different ways we punch. We sometimes punch this way or this way. Basically, we're going to be punching out in front and the thumb will be on the bottom for this traditional punch, and then the other one is a reaction is going to come back to the side of the hip. Now you can see I'm wearing a Taekwondo belt. That's traditionally where our hand comes back to, is to the side of this belt. So we're going to practice doing our punches while we maintain this sitting stance. Now you might feel that your legs begin to ache a little bit, and naturally what happens is you'll start to straighten your legs because it feels a bit uncomfortable. But that's part of the reason why we do these stances. It's a really good way to develop these muscles for when we come on to kicks later on. So see if you can keep those knees and hips slightly bent. Make fists with your hands, and if you put one fist out in front of you, so that's about the same height as your shoulder, and then the other fist, the side of the fist, so the little finger side of the fist, is going to go on the side of your hip. So to do our traditional punches, what we're going to do from there is we're going to change our hands over, and there's a twist on the hand that does the punch to the front and a twist on the hand that comes back to the side of the hip. But they both start and finish at exactly the same point. So as soon as I move this one back, this one's going to start to come forwards, and they finish right at the end together. Okay, and there's the twist of the fist at the end of the movement. So these are our traditional Taekwondo punches. Now, as Taekwondo comes from South Korea, we actually learn some of the Korean terminology. So I'm going to be counting in Korean, and we're just going to go to 4. And what I want you to do is, as I count and I'll show you the punch, I then want you to practice staying in this sitting stance, and then you're going to then punch to follow me. Okay, ready? So make sure you get your stance right. Off we go. Hana. Do. Good. Set. Net. Brilliant. And we'll go again. Hana. Do. Set. Net. Good. We'll do one more set of 4. Make sure you don't start to straighten your legs, so keep your knees and your hips slightly bent. Body stays upright, so good posture. Hana. Do. Set. Net. Brilliant. And relax. Good. Bring your feet back in. Give your arms and legs a bit of a shake. Right, so that's our sitting stance with our traditional punches to the front. What we're going to do now is we're going to practice doing those punches, but rather than doing them in the static position, we're actually going to move them forwards and backwards. So this time, we're going to adopt what we call a walking stance. Now the difference is, a sitting stance, your feet were 2 shoulder widths wide. The actual length of a walking stance is pretty much the same. So it's about 2 shoulder widths but long, and it's about 1 shoulder width wide that way. Okay, so with this one, the front knee's bent and the back leg is straight, and the toes are going to be pointing straight forwards. So what we'll do this time is, if you take your right foot back behind you and bring your left fist up in front of you and your right fist on the side of the hip like we did the punches earlier. So this time I'm going to get you to step forwards, and as you step forwards you do the punch, and then immediately you then step back and punch with the opposite hand. So you should have your left foot forwards, left fist up in front of you, right leg should be straight back behind you with the right fist on the side of the hip. So as I count, you're going to take a step forwards into that walking stance and punch, and then immediately step back into the walking stance and punch with the other hand. So you're going to be doing 2 steps. Are you ready? Again, I'm going to count in Korean. Hana. So step forwards, punch, and then step back and punch. Good. Do. 1 step forwards, 1 step back. Set. Good. Net. Brilliant. Right, we're going to do that one more time. Just to emphasize on the stance, make sure it is long enough. What tends to happen is people make it really, really short at the beginning because they're not sure how long it should be. And this is walking stance. I don't know why. I don't know where the South Koreans end up walking like this. I don't know. I have not seen any evidence of that. So I don't know why it's called walking stance. But essentially, it should be quite a big step forwards. And again, we're developing these muscles that we need for when we go on to the kicks. So let's do it one more time. Ready? Hana. So big step forwards, punch. Big step back and punch with the other hand. Do. 1 step forwards, 1 step back. So it's only the right foot that should be moving. Set. Brilliant. One more. Net. Good. Okay, right. Hold that position for a second. So you're still in this walking stance. What I want you to do now is I want you to change this front hand and bend it like you're showing off your bicep muscles. just bend it so the fist is now level with the shoulder, so the elbow's bent in this position. Okay, we're now going to go on to do a block. This is a middle block. So this time, as you come forward, it takes a bit more coordination with this one, because as you step forward, you're going to make this cross by the side of your head. So you're going to cross your arms, and then as you step forward, your blocking hand is going to come round to the front, and the other hand goes back to the side of the hip in the same way that we did the punch. When we step back, again, we're going to make the cross by the side of the head with the arms, and then as you step back, this blocking hand is going to come round to the front, and the other fist comes back to the side of the hip. So as we take the right foot forwards, we're blocking with the right. We need to cross the arms to the left side of the head to block with the right. When we step backwards, we're going to cross the arms to the right side of the head by your right ear to then block with the left. So it's opposite. So again, this is where the coordination bit comes in. So again, I'll count. We'll do 1 step forwards, 1 step back. Ready? Hana. So step forwards, cross by the side of your head, bring it round to block. Step back, cross by the side of your head and block. Good. Do. Step forwards, cross, bring it round to the front, so it's level with your shoulder. Step back, cross, block. Now it might feel a bit robotic. Don't worry if it does. If you think, what am I doing with my arms? It will feel a bit strange if you've not done this before, but as I say, just go with it. Set. So step forwards, cross, block. Step back, cross, block. Net. Step forwards, step back. Good, we'll do a couple more because this one's a little bit more complicated, this one. Hana. Step forwards, cross, block, step back, cross, block. Do. Good, well done. And give your arms a little bit of a legs, arms and legs a bit of a shake. Okay, so we've done a punch, we've done a block, we've done a sitting stance, we've done a walking stance where we've been moving forwards and backwards. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go on to do a kick. So the kick we're going to do is the first kick you pretty much learn in Taekwondo called a front kick. Now for this, I don't want you to try and kick really, really high. Okay, we're going to kick relatively low, so we normally say about belt height, being the level of where our belt is on our waist. Just go for that height, but if you're not that flexible, don't try and kick any higher. Or if anything, you can kick lower. So just don't lift your knee quite so high. So for the purpose of this, what I want you to do now is again have your right foot back behind you and your left foot forwards. And I want you to bring your fists up this time just in front of the chin. So this is a bit more of a relaxed style position rather than the traditional position that we were earlier when we did the block and the punches. So feet a little bit closer, fists up underneath your chin or just in front of you here. We're going to kick off the back leg. So just to show you the technique, what happens is the knee comes up to the front and then we extend the leg. So there's the snap of the kick, back to that position, and then I then place the foot back down behind me. All the while, I've got my fists up close to my chin or in front of me, so it's there for protection, but it's also there because we're coming up onto one leg. Obviously this is working on our balance, so if I start moving my arms around, I'm going to lose my balance. So I'm going to keep my fists and my elbows in to help with the balance while I do the kick, then I put the foot back down, okay? So from there, just show you from the side so you can see, you're going to bring the knee up, kick, and then put the foot back down. Again, we're not interested in trying to kick high, it's probably better to just start off a little bit lower. Are you ready? So again, I'll count you in Korean. Every time I count, do the kick to the front and then put the foot back down. Ready? Hana. So knee up, flick, and then put the foot back down. Imagine you've got like a slipper or a flip-flop on your foot and you're trying to flick it across the room as you do the kick. Do. Knee up, flick, then put it back down. Set. Good. Net. Knee up, kick, then down. Brilliant. Right, let's change legs. So I want you to put your other foot back. We always work on both sides in Taekwondo, so we never just work on one side. You end up working on both sides equally. So again, keep the fists up. So now you're doing it with the left foot, so off the back leg. Ready? Hana, knee up, flick, then put the foot back down. Do, knee up, kick, and down. Set. Good. Net. Brilliant. Okay, excellent. Now change. Go back to the position that we were in when we did the first kicks. Keep the hands up. What we're going to do now, that's most of our traditional techniques I'm going to teach you today. We're going to put those into a little bit of a sparring routine now. So what we're going to do when we come to sparring in Taekwondo, it's more the sports side of Taekwondo, similar to what you see at the Olympics. We're now going to make it not so traditional that we did earlier. We're going to do a couple of punches, but it's going to be more like your boxing. So you can either be bouncing on the balls of the feet, Or you can just bend the knees a little bit so the body's moving. And then when you hear me count, you're going to go punch to the front, do one of those kicks, and then put your foot down and then start moving again. So the emphasis is more about just punching, what called jab, cross, then you got the front kick, and then you put your foot back down. So we're going punch, punch, kick effectively. So hands up, so you can either be bouncing on the balls of the feet, or just keeping the feet flat and just moving, slight little movement in the knees and in the body. Are you ready? Hana, punch, punch, kick, put the foot back down, and then start moving again. Do, punch, punch, kick, and move. Brilliant. Set, punch, punch, kick, and move again. Net, 1, 2, 3, and move. Good, let's change the feet over. Let's try that on the other side. So again, fists up. Make sure you're moving again, either this way or up onto the balls of the feet if you can. Ready? Front hand starts the first punch. Hana, punch, punch, kick off the back leg, down, and move. Do, punch, punch, kick, down, and move. Set, 1, 2, 3, and move again. Net, punch, punch, kick, and move. Good, and relax. Give your arms and legs a little bit of a shake. Fantastic. Right, that's most of the work done. What we're going to do now is do a little cool down with some stretching. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to place one hand on top of the other, roll the shoulders forwards, and then push your arms forwards so you can feel stretch around the sides and the top of the back. Nice gentle breathing now as we're cooling down and the heart rate comes down. So deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Good. Okay, let's do a chest and shoulder stretch. Hands behind you in the lower part of the back, and then squeeze the shoulder blades back together. So as you pull the elbows back, you should feel the stretch here on the chest and the front of the shoulders. Again, slow, gentle breathing while you hold the stretch. Good, brilliant. Okay, let's stretch those inner thigh muscles. So for this one, take the feet out a little bit wider, and then if you bend one knee, place the hand on the side of your straight leg that's still straight, and I want you to lean towards the straight leg. So as you slide your hand down the side of that knee, side of that leg, you should feel the stretch here on the inside of that thigh. Good, come back up, straighten out that leg. Let's bend the opposite one. So bend the knee a little bit, but lean away from the bent one, so you slide your hand down the side of the straight leg until you create a stretch on that inner thigh. And come back up, good. Right, last stretch. If you just put one foot short distance in front of the other, make sure this front leg stays straight. Place your hands on the back leg and think about pushing your bottom up in the air behind you. As you take the body forward, you'll start to feel stretch down the back of this straight leg here. And if you want to, you can come up onto the heel of that foot. So as you lift the toes back, you'll get the stretch in the calf at the same time. Good, and then switch over and do the same on the other side. So make sure you're pushing the bottom up in the air, front leg straight the knee, and if you want to, you can lift the toes and the foot back towards you, so come up onto the heel. Good work, everybody. Right, so we finish in the same way as we started. So what we're going to do is come to attention. So you've got the heels of the feet together, hands by your side. And then we do a little bow. And then you can give yourself a round of applause. Good work, well done. Well done, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that mini martial arts session today. If you did, then maybe worth actually searching for a martial arts school that's local to you when things get back to normal, and then it gets you to try something new. Thanks for taking part, and I'll see you next week. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video today, please give it a thumbs up. You can also click here to subscribe to this channel, or click here to watch a recent video. See you soon.